Hey everybody, Gina DeLuca here. Today we are going to do another experiment. We are using DecoArt Americana line paint. So what I've noticed when I'm doing straight pours is the paints that wind up selling are the ones that dry with more of a matte finish. The entire Americana line is matte. So I just wanted to see if, when I put it together with a known background color, the Basics Phthalo Blue is an opaque, and it does fall to the background when I'm doing a straight pour. So I thought, let's give this a whirl and see what happens. So I have the Americana line in bright orange background when I'm doing a straight pour. So I thought, let's give this a whirl and see what happens. So I have the Americana line in bright orange, citron green, and desert turquoise. I have the phthalo blue. And for my background, I mixed some Artist Loft Flow Acrylic White with the phthalo blue, just so it would be in the same family, but not white, just in case you get those cells that pop up. I have here my little chart that I made with all of the DecoArt paints that they sent me, and they're all matte finish. And it's not on the bottle, but if you go online to their site, you can get the product information, which will give you the opacity, whether it's opaque or transparent or semi-transparent. So I made a chart and I list them all. So the bright orange is semi-transparent. The desert turquoise is opaque, and the citron green is transparent. So we're going to see if the opacity makes a difference when it's a matte finish paint. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna play today. Alrighty, so these are mixed, 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint, and I have added my mixture of 90% water and 10% Floetrol to those paints until I got a very thin consistency. And when I say very thin, when you drizzle the paint back into the cup, it doesn't sit on top, it immediately dissolves. That one thickened up just a hair, so let's give it a dash. It is important that your paints are all the same consistency, or you get lines and squiggles and paint running over top of other paints in a drippy fashion. That is undesirable. Another thing that we'll be testing with these colors is, will there be color separation? Will it make mud? Let's hope not. This is a 14 by 14 canvas, and that would be about 7 ounces of paint, but because I'm going to lay down a base coat, I don't need quite that much. Got a little drip of my water and Floetrol in there. I did prep the canvas. Doesn't sound like it, but I did prep the canvas by spraying the back with water, which I'm going to do again because it sounds like it loosened up a little bit. That tightens up your canvas so it doesn't sag, which is especially important on bigger pieces, although I have seen 8x10s that have been floppy. They were so saggy. There we go. You want it to sound like a drum. Don't know if you can hear that. it makes a difference. Okay. Let's put some paint in a cup, shall we? So, we will start with our blue, which should be the background. If everything goes as planned. I'm gonna need a little more than that. And let's do the Bahama blue next. That is sinking. That is not a bad thing. When the paint sinks, that kind of gives you an idea of what you might get for cells. So let's do the citron next, also sinking. And the orange. All right, I'm going to set this to the side. Lay down a bit of a base coat. You want your base coat to be as thin, if not thinner, than your poured paints. You do not want your base coat thicker because then it will fight back and you will get squiggly lines when you start tilting your canvas. And this paint needs something to slide around on, or the bottom layer of your paint, your poured paint, will stick to the canvas, and then your cool cells or your composition or your rings, whatever you're going for, will slide over top of the paint that is sticking, and then you bust up your cells, you ruin your rings. Okay, base coat is down. Most of those colors have sunk into the bottom. That could be a good sign. We shall see. Let's make a mess. Okay, there's no silicone in here. Let's pop some bubbles. When you are not using silicone, the torch just pops bubbles. It's not really going to help you get any more cells. When you are using silicone, it warms up the paint and the silicone and makes the silicone rise. So, as I can see so far, the citron, which looks yellow next to this blue, is selling up. And some of the oranges. There's a lot of paint on here. You want to recenter your paint before you change directions, always. Okay, now I'm just kind of going for some composition here. All right, well, we definitely got some cells. Color separation, okay. Not a whole lot of mud. So we'll let this sit for a couple of minutes and see if any more cells pop up. It looks like there are here. And I'll bring you in for a close-up. Okay, here it is. It's been sitting for about 15 minutes. There are more cells popping up. There are some in the blue that was an opaque, but clearly the transparent and the semi-transparent had more of a selling effect. Although, you know, the opaque did sell. And the basics did fall to the background, as it does. So, more experimenting will be done, but I do think that is a good sign for straight pours with the Americana line. So I will do some more with those colors and we'll have some fun and see what happens. All in all, I'm pleased with it. I learned something. I hope you did too. Please like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Go make some art.